Hello, beautiful people. My name is Maura. Welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Today's video is actually a message for choir directors, for music teachers. And this is a topic very near and dear and close to my heart. Because before being an artist, before singing with the Voces 8 Scholars and Il Volo and opening for Carlos Rivera and getting nominated to 2 Latin Grammys and singing for the Queen and King of Spain and all these things. Before that, I was a choir director at a middle school for 1 year, and I was a choir student for 10 years before that. And without the experiences and lessons that I learned as that, I would have never gotten here. And if no one has ever thanked you for your work, I thank you. And if no one has ever told you that they see you, I see you. And to my former choir directors, if they ever watch this video, you changed my life. And in that way, I think it was my mission to change the lives of my students when I was a teacher. And now, as an artist, change the lives of my listeners and of my audience. And what gives me the audacity to say that is that I believe music calls you to something and then does anything she wants with you. And if you are a servant of music, you just have to let it do whatever it wants with you, even if that something is really hard. I want to share a little bit of my experience from when I was a choir director, because this character arc from directing at a middle school that was really tough, with very underprivileged conditions, stricken by so much trauma in a community that truly struggled. From teaching there to now, the reality that I live now in Miami, going to the studio every day, that's night and day. But that arc is worth exploring, possibly, and I want to share with other musicians, especially with choir directors and choir people and music students. Oh my goodness. I hope you find this video. So here we go. Right before the year started, 2021 to 2022, of when I was a choir director, I went through one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life. Something that you will see in my songs if you ever feel like analyzing my lyrics. I speak a lot about rebirth and death and the fragility and vulnerability of human life, but also the joy. And I believe the human experience can be encapsulated in what you go through as a music teacher sometimes. I found this in my little box of memories. It is from May of 2022. May of 2022. Right now it's May of 2026. So 4 years ago. I cannot count. That's crazy, okay? And I want to read this little part for you that makes me super emotional. I used to write these for myself at the end of every week that I made it through the school year, because it was almost impossible. And I wrote, teaching was a heck of an experience. And next week, I'm going to tell the kids that I'm leaving. I can't even picture that in my brain. I've come to really love some of these kids. To leave them in someone else's hands without knowing if this person will do half as much or half as good as me is painful. But I trust in God's plan. God, please, whoever comes here next, let them be 1,000,000 times better than me. And if not, I hope the kids stick around and that their choir peak is not this. And if this was indeed their choir peak, I hope that they carry the joy and love of music for the rest of their lives. Because what I showed them here was only the smallest of glimpses. That is the attitude that made me endure hardship to the level that I didn't even get to tell my kids that I was leaving them that Friday, that I was going to tell them, because that Friday I almost dropped dead in my classroom at 7:30 something a.m. in the morning when my heart gave out. When I was so stressed every single day, so overwhelmed, burnt out, that it almost ended my life forever. I know that so many teachers feel this burnout, but I want to reassure you that you make a difference. I know that I made a difference because even though I only taught for 1 year, there are still some of my students who I keep in touch with today, and they are still in their musical path, even though they only had choir for 1 year. They awakened to a love of music, a love of themselves, because choir does not only teach you to love music and to love poetry, it teaches you about the human experience. Choir is the best blessing that has ever come to my life. And I will never regret the work I did as a middle school choir director, even though it almost cost me my absolute life. The wisdom that I acquired there, these are post-its that I used to put on my desk to see every single day. The wisdom that I acquired there, that God was like, boo, 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 boo. Had to beat it into my head. He had to pulverize my ego. One middle school kid at a time. God pulverized my ego, okay? These are the lessons that I wrote down for myself, that without them, I don't know where I would be in my artistic career at this point. These are reminders, and I want to share them with you. This one says, may I find enough humility today. If you are being humbled right now by life, just know that this is not the end of your story. It is a learning chapter of your story. This one says, remember what you are working towards. It does not end here. This meant that even though I could not give my students the best choir experience because the school was absolutely set up for failure, their musical path did not end there. And what I wanted the most was to give them a musical path that would last them a lifetime. These are a combination of texts that I've sung in choir. They are written by many saints, Saint Francis, Saint Mother Teresa. And it says, God, make me an instrument of your peace. My work is nothing but a drop in the ocean. But without it, the ocean would be one drop the less. This is making me emotional, but I truly felt so small back then. As small as a little drop. But I knew that I had to complete my work and do my work, and I did not know why. I knew I had to, guys. This one says, "And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God?" It is a text from Psalms, I believe, which none of these texts, these religious texts, are just random. They are like songs that I learned in choir. Here's a picture of me and my students for one of the concerts. Here's little choir director Maura. They're wearing their masks. It was during COVID time. That contributed to the hardship of the entire thing. Why am I telling you this? Why am I literally oversharing my life with you right here? It's because everything happens for a reason. And you have to let music do whatever it wants to do with you. If music is calling you to be its servant for 1 year or whatever years or a month or whatever, and you feel in your soul that that is your path, that is what you do. If music is calling you higher, calling you to write your own music and share it with the world, that is what you do. To have the smallest concert, most humble concert with children and their parents in a school cafeteria that smells horrible, that is what you do. To have a glamorous concert in the Grand Opera House of Barcelona, that is what you do. You understand what I'm saying here? No stage is superior to another stage. No concert is superior to another concert. They are all in service of human beings who are standing in front of you, be it you, particularly as a singer, or your choir, if you are a director. And for a long time, I idolized music. And when I was in college, I was not a very friendly singer. You see me all cute and friendly now, that is not how I used to be. God had to polish me a little bit. I used to be aggressive, and I used to be perfectionist, and I used to want the music to be perfect always. And I used to put the academics above the people. You understand? God had to humble me to the ground, pulverize my ego, making me get disrespected by 13-year-olds on a daily basis. There were kids who threw backpacks at me. There were kids who wanted to stab me with the little sharp things that were on my board. There were kids that cursed at my face just because they did not want to stand up and sing Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Oof. What I endured that year, and having an illness that I did not know I had, that would soon mess with my 3rd-degree heart block and almost kill me. I needed that. Now I know that I needed that. Why do you need the experience that you're going through right now that is hard? You know the experience that you're going through right now that is hard. What are you learning? Maybe you do not see the end result right now, and that is okay. But are there any lessons you can learn right now that will serve future you? Learn them. Write down as many post-its as you need for yourself. Write a letter to yourself at the end of every week that you survive, whatever you are getting currently put through. And then rise higher. I did not know that I was going to rise higher. That was a surprise. It's a surprise that happened because I had faith and full trust that I would end up finding my life's calling within music, because teaching was not my life's calling. And that's what I studied in university together with classical voice. And I thought that that was my destiny forever and that I was going to hate my job for the rest of my life. But no, God had other plans for me. When I first started working at that middle school, when I picked that middle school to work, not everybody understood my decision. And some people used to say, this is the worst choice you could have made for yourself. But my soul, remember last week we talked about listening to your soul. My soul knew that this is the experience that I needed to get where life was calling me to be. I cannot explain this to you, but I knew that God wanted me to be in that school. And it was evident and obvious to God that my heart was going to give out 1 week before the school year ended. But if my heart had not given out, I would not have had my near-death experience. I would have not been called out on all my regrets of not pursuing my career as a singer. And I would have never changed my life to rise to where I am now. And I am still struggling and climbing up and learning lessons every day now. It's not like I have arrived. No. And I will never arrive. Even if I get huge at some point. I will never feel like I've arrived, because music always has a higher calling. Someone said this. I think it was one of my music teachers. Music will always be above you. No matter how incredible musician you get, no matter if you are playing in the top orchestra in the universe and you singing in the top choir in the universe, you are singing in the best stages possible, it doesn't matter. Music will always surpass you. You will always have room to be a better musician. But it's not only about the virtuosity of your craft. It is about how you put it to the service of people. That is why I had to learn the lesson that I learned in college and as a choir director. People first, music second. People first, music second. Meaning that the business of music is a people-oriented business. That the business of music, it has to be in service of other people's souls, other people's hearts. It doesn't have to. It is. It doesn't matter what type of music. There's music for everything. There is music to work out to. There is music to shake your booty to. There's music to elevate you. There's music to pray. There's music to be just a chill soundtrack to your life. The people making that music, whether they know it or not, are in the service of humanity. And the people teaching people music, to me, are the top human beings in this world. I am not a music teacher anymore. Maybe yes, but in a different way. The people who taught me music, I will be forever in debt to you. You will never know the impact you had on my heart. You will never know the safety I felt walking into your choir classroom and knowing that I was good for one thing in school. Maybe I was horrible at math, but I was good at singing. Thank you for expanding my horizons. Thank you for teaching me to study things that I did not understand. Do you understand how much the study of music expands a person's knowledge, brain capacity, not only historical knowledge, like literacy and social skills and like humanity skills? Do you even understand? This video better make you want to be in a choir or something. If you are not a choir person yet, I'm sure there's a choir you can join somewhere. This is my arc. From middle school choir teacher to artist. And God knows what life has in store for me yet. But I trust, because I will continue doing whatever the heck music wants me to do. Wherever it wants me to do it. I don't know. But I trust, because someone said this the other day and I overheard them say it. Someone said, if you are nice to music, music is nice to you back. If you treat music well, music treats you well. And I am speaking of music as if it was a person. Yes. As if I had a personal relationship with music. Yes. You think I'm cuckoo bananas? I am cuckoo bananas. But to me, music is the language of the soul. Is the language to communicate with God back and forward. Clearly, I pray in music. These little post-its, these are all prayers that come from songs, be it from choral repertory like classical music, church music, or being from, this one is a lyric from Coldplay and Jacob Collier, from a song that is literally a heart. It doesn't have a title, like the song is a little heart emoji, and it says, a human heart, only God, a human heart. I wish it didn't run away. I wish it didn't fall apart. No, a human heart. Okay, you get the idea. These are all prayers that music taught me how to pray. The reason I stood in front of those children for a year and taught them their solfege scales, their do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, their other music that I taught them, was so that they could find a language for the little heart and their little soul to express itself, to build a community, to be a better human. That's why. That is what this is all about. And if you're an artist and you think that what you do is glamorous only for the sake of the benefits you get from it, then you have lost the plot, my friend. If you think it's all about you, you need to find the people who are listening to your music and find out how they feel. Because it's about them. You are the instrument. And this is not a self-hatred video. This is a self-love video. And we will talk more about that as this channel progresses. The self-love that it requires, the self-respect that it requires to be the best instrument you can be. The best human being you can be. But what I'm trying to say to you is what I already repeated. People first, music second. I have a song that is going to drop on the 27th, May 27th of 2026, that has already been here on YouTube sitting for a while. It's called Protégeme. That I sang it with the Voces 8 Scholars and Ensemble. And I hope you listen to it and you tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I've lost the plot. Hopefully I have not. Tell me if you are feeling what I'm trying to put out there. What I wanted to create in my classroom when I was a teacher was just a little network of love through music. And what I'm trying to do here in this channel is to build a network of love through music. And what I'm trying to do with my music and my art as an artist is just to build a network of love through music. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. Okay? My little flower prop. I'm going to use it now for all the videos. It's such a good fidgety fidget. Anyway, forgive me for anything that I said that might have been not expressed in the best way. I hope it was all understandable. I hope it was all useful for someone. I don't know why I have it in my heart to make these videos, but I do. I have it in my heart. So I will do it. This is me following my heart, as I always do, following my soul, following what I believe I'm getting called to do at the moment. And if you want more of me, then definitely go check out my music. And if you have a music teacher, send this video to them as an appreciation. That you see them, that you thank them, and that you have now learned more about what it takes to be in that profession. I respect you with all my soul. I love you with all my soul, and I thank you. And that is it for today, because it's getting hot in my car and I am in Miami and it's about to be the summer. I will see you soon. And I will have a beautiful, beautiful musical video coming out for you soon that I really hope you enjoy. So, until next week, remember, let music do whatever it wants with you and trust it. Trust in a greater plan that this life has for you. Everything that happens in your path happens for the highest growth of your soul. Okay?